Studying in Germany can be very affordable. We all know that. Still, food, rent, transport can be very expensive, and especially as a student. So how can you actually earn money and still be able to prioritize your studies? In this video, we share practical tips and also real-life experience to help you stay financially stable as a student in Germany.
Exactly. Hi there. We're Ines and Gustavo, founders of OptiMigration and Keep It in German, the podcast. And in this podcast, we are going to dive into all aspects into moving and living in Germany and making it your new home here. From practical tips to real-life stories, we cover everything about how to migrate to Germany and building your life here. So let's start with the first kind of question to this topic. How did you finance yourself, your studies in Germany? What's your personal experience?
So I still can vividly remember my studies here in Germany and how sometimes I was a bit financially unstable, but I think that's normal, of course. Still have good memories about that. So I actually was a bit privileged because I was able to get a scholarship from the federal state of Germany, and it's called the BAföG scholarship. We're going to talk about it a little bit later. But yeah, so I got about 600 to 700 euros a month. Of course, this was not enough. Like 5 to 8 years ago, it was still okay, but it was not enough to cover all my expenses. So I still did some jobs as waitress. I also did a lot of jobs as Dolmetscher, like I translated in hospitals, for example, or in courts from German to Portuguese. And I also worked a lot in fairs and did like jobs as hostess in fairs. So yeah, that was my experience working as a student here in Germany.
Okay.
How about you?
Typical student story. For me, it was kind of the same. But at the very beginning, I came to Germany with Carta de Responsabilidad Económica. It is called in Spanish, like a Verpflichtungserklärung.
Okay.
No, it's a Verpflichtungserklärung. I didn't have a block account. So a Verpflichtungserklärung is a document that for example, your parents or someone in charge of you signed in order to make them responsible of your financial expenses in Germany. So I was able to get that document from my parents and come to Germany to study, and they deposit me every month like for expenses of myself. And I never had a block account. I never had the necessity to have a block account, but many students have the block account. Including for example, my brother at the time when he was also studying here, he had a block account. And for example, like also, I think they changed now the laws of the Verpflichtungserklärung. So now the person who is signing that document for you, like who is going to be in charge of your financial situation, needs to have a residence in Germany and a German account, like a German bank account.
Okay.
Back then, it wasn't like a condition, but now it is. So yes, that was for me like at the beginning. But then I also worked like, doing some bartending, also delivering pizzas, everything, cleaning Zara stores. And later on, I started working as a working student. And that's how I also, the bachelors were financed by my parents, and then the masters, or since the late bachelor's time, was all financed by myself. And yes, I started working as a working student, and I think I managed really well, like these two kind of, let's say, topics or jobs, like studying and working. And yes, like later on, we're also going to talk about the benefits of being a working student and why that may be the best option to work as a student in Germany.
Yeah, but also very important topic is that, like in comparison to other countries, we here, like as studies in Germany or students in Germany, have this privilege of having a job. Because I saw when I did like my foreign studies in Brazil or in Colombia, this was not normal that you could work like and studying at the same time. You either had to prioritize your studies or you had to prioritize your work. There were no like specific jobs for students as we have it here in Germany.
Yes, exactly. In Mexico too. Like all my friends at the university in Mexico, they had jobs, but they had like full-time jobs sometimes, and also they were full-time students. So I believe that was super hard for them. I cannot imagine someone studying full-time and also working full-time in Germany. I think it will be too hard. Maybe the university level or difficulty is different. But yes, for myself, for example, I wouldn't be able to study my bachelor's and working at the same time. It wouldn't have been possible. But yes, it's good that this kind of jobs specifically for students are available in
here.
Germany. Yes.
So, and is studying in Germany really as free as everyone talks about?
Yeah, well, you need to pay some expenses, like some quotas or semester contributions are called. So depending on the university where you live and also which kind of service the university includes in this semester contribution, the amount varies from, I have seen semester contributions from 90 euros up to 450 euros. For example, one of the most expensive universities contributions is for the TUM, Technical University of München. I believe it's like 450 or some around that number. For example, Darmstadt is also pretty high, like around 400.
Frankfurt too.
Because the transportation system is more expensive here and it is included in your university ticket. That's why the price goes up. However, for example, if you want to opt out of the transportation ticket, you can also take it out and you pay less. So that's an option that you need to like send a letter to the student services and they will then deduct that. And for example, in the small universities where transportation is very cheap, the university is also very small, etc., you pay like 100 euros, 200 euros for the semester contribution.
Yes.
So, I mean, a good like average will be 50 euros per month for university expenses.
But that's really good. I think in comparison to other countries, that's nothing
to the education that you get here. And for example, I don't know, in the US or other in the UK to another European country. So it's very, very good. The Verhältnis, how do you say, like the balance between how expensive it is and the education quality that you get.
And of course, you don't also need to pay the semester contributions, but you also need to pay your living expenses.
Exactly.
Like the rent, the utilities, food, etc. Everything that comes with living in a city in Germany. And that can be up to 1,000 euros a month, also depending on the city you live in.
Yes.
In big cities, is going to be more expensive than in smaller cities.
Yes. I mean, it depends like a lot where you live, how you live. Also, for example, if you live outside the city and you need to use the transport and you need to pay for a ticket. Then if you live in the center of the city, then you need to pay the rent a high price. And yes, I mean, every situation is different, but like around like for students, I believe the German government has set down the like average cost for students in about 920 euros per month or 933.
I think it's higher nowadays. I think
now
it's
higher,
thousands.
about 1,000.
Yes.
So yes, when I started, it was like 750 euros per month.
For me too.
And every year they have like leveled up the amount, and now it's 1,000.
Yeah.
And I believe I don't know if it's that's for all Germany or the average, or for just a couple of states, because
what exactly?
The amount, the 1,000 euros.
No, like I said, it depends on the city you live in.
But the German government gave that amount as an average.
They give it for the whole Germany. Yes.
Yeah, because I believe I was also looking at some average numbers in smaller cities, but I not remember it very well.
Yeah.
And yes, I mean, utilities, food, rent, all this stuff. I mean, it doesn't matter if you are working or studying, you need to pay them.
Yeah.
So, as a student, it's part of your student life here.
Yes.
So.
And then how can you actually finance your life? Like, what are the jobs that you can actually do as a student? We have the very famous Werkstudent job, as we already talked about.
Working students.
The working student job, where you can work up to a maximum of 20 hours per week. So it's a part-time job. And you get very high salary, like in comparison to other jobs. You get like 12 to up to 20 euros per hour.
12 is the minimum.
Is the minimum,
salary.
Of course. That's why I put it there.
I mean, you can get also more money, like more than 20 euros per hour, but it's not very common.
Yeah.
But yes, like working students positions in big companies can pay you a lot.
Yes, and you can find like working student positions mostly like in bigger companies or in startups. Like you cannot work as a working student in a cafe, for example. That does not exist. So yeah, you have this option that we're also going to talk a bit more in detail after this. And you have the mini job that is where you work a maximum of 10 hours per week. And you can gain up to 538 euros per month. And these jobs are typically like waitress jobs, hostess jobs, cleaning jobs, everything that...
Bakery.
In the bakery, for example. So a lot of like smaller shops have the option of like doing a mini job.
Non-corporate jobs.
Non-corporate jobs,
yes.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and then we also have other kind of work, let's say, types. You have the dual study program, so Dualstudium. That's like a mix of 3 months of studying in the university and also 3 months of working in a company full time. And the company also normally pays for the full tuition or most of it. Sometimes you need to pay like a percentage of that. And you get a salary from ranging about 100 to 150 euros per month, or even more, and it increases with the pass of time also. Like if you study for 2-3 years, and every year you get an increase in your salary.
And important to say here also is that you almost always study as in a private university, not as a state university, because they have the special programs for the dual state program.
Yes, I mean there are some public universities that also have dual programs, but they are not very known, or it's not common. However, yes, it's a very good kind of program to enter because you get practical experience and also you gain money during that. The other kind of way of making money is through internships. So the very famous internships are like Praktikums in German. And well, if it depends on the type of internship, if you get paid or not. For example, you have the Pflichtpraktikum during your studies is mandatory. So that means it's part of your studies program, of your university program. And in this case, the companies are not required to pay you normally. But the most, like usually they pay you something.
Like big corporations, they pay.
Yeah. For example, I did two kind of practicums. One was like a basic practicum and then like a more advanced practicum in my studies. And the first one I didn't get paid because it was less than 3 months or like up to 3 months. You are not required to get paid. Like the company is not required to pay you. But if you work more than 3 months, they are required to pay you.
Okay.
And for the second one, even though it was also like for 3 months, I was paid.
Okay.
Yes. So it depends also on the company. Sometimes they decide to pay you, sometimes they don't. And I was making for my practicum like netto. I believe I was getting like 1 500 euros, like 1,500 euros per month, like brutto. And then netto, it was like 1,400, 1,300, because they almost don't, you don't pay any taxes almost on that. So you get the most of it. It's not like when you're a working student, you pay more taxes actually. And also, like another type of job is the research assistant at university, in which you can work up to 20 hours per week, like working student, more or less, and you get paid like a little bit less as a research assistant in comparison to a working student, like maybe 15 euros per hour or somewhere around that.
Yes, and mostly it does not even get up to 20 hours per week. Mostly it's even less, like 10
like
hours per week.
They are like 10 hours, 12 hours. Yes, that's true. I have a lot of friends that work as assistants at universities, and they don't fill out the 20 hours per week. So, I mean, that's a little bit not very, let's say, convenient, since your costs are like fixed. And you need to get a fixed high salary or higher salary. So it isn't good that you vary in your income.
But it has an advantage, and we were going to talk about it a bit later. So, but what is actually a Werkstudent job, and why is it so popular? So the Werkstudent job is, as I said, it's like a part-time job that you in your field of study. So it needs to be related to your field of study. If you study, for example, engineer, you need then to work as a working student in an engineering company. That's how it usually works. And like we said, you work up to 20 hours per week. Normally it's 20 hours. I never saw a case where it was like below 20 hours. And you have the option of, for example, working more in your semester break. Like during the semester, you do the 20 hours, and during the semester break, you can do actually even the 40 hours per week, because you have more time. And you pay also lower social security contributions, like you pay no taxes for health, nursing, or unemployment insurance. But you only pay the pension insurance. So you can save up like to 100 to 200 euros per month.
So why is it so popular, or in our opinion also one of the best ways you can finance your studies or university studies here in Germany, is that normally these kind of working student positions have a higher salary than other types of jobs, than for example Minijobs or research assistants. So normally in big corporations or in general corporate environments like startups and stuff that are related also to your field of studies, pay you like really good. And also one of the best advantages is that you get the practical experience of working in your field. So this is one of the best ways to really ensure later on to get a job, because some students graduate with excellent grades, but they have never worked. And sometimes companies prefer people to have a practical experience than to have maybe 1 or 2 points more in their grades. So this is something to consider when you want to study in Germany and then gain practical experience. Also, the network is very important. You get to know a lot of people. You get to maybe build connections. And in the future, it also gives you the advantage that if you know the company, if they know you, how you work, you can later on have a full-time job at that company. So it is very common that as a student, you work 20 hours. And then once you finish your thesis, your bachelor or master thesis, they offer you a full-time position at the company. So this is one of the best ways to really smoothly enter the corporate life here in Germany.
Yeah, so another very important topic is actually how many days you are allowed to work as an international student. Because with the international student permit,
a lot of people make this mistake. So
yes,
it's very important
to listen.
to listen, and because this topic may cost you, like this error may cost you a lot of trouble with the immigration office.
Yes,
if you're not careful enough.
Yeah. So with the student permit, you can actually work up to 140 full days in Germany. And it's a bit tricky because they are also counted in a very specific way. For example, if you are working during the semester, let's say you work 2.5 days per week, those days are counted fully. So they are counted as 2.5 days. If you work, for example, 5 days during the semester break, they are only counted in half. Like they are only counted 2.5 days, not the fully 5 days. But this only during the semester break. Why do they do this? Because they know during the semester break you have more time, you can gain up a bit of money. So they actually like give you the option of working more, but they count it as less days. Another important step to take into account is when you, for example, do a mandatory internship. So these days, for example, if you do a mandatory internship, it's not counted into the 140 days. If you do a voluntary internship, that is then counted into the 140 days, and they are counted fully.
Yes.
So 5 days a week are counted as 5 days a week in the internship. And working as a researcher in the university, for example, does not count into the 140 days. So you can work how many hours, how many days you want, and it is not counted into the 140 days, so it is unlimited.
Okay.
It's because, like, their explanation is you are working in your university.
Academic environment.
Yes, you are working in an academic environment, so you are still, like, doing student-related things, and that's why they do not count this as a job, like
as working hours for a corporation. Crazy. I mean, I didn't know that, but yes, I actually remember that I worked 1 year like more than the hours allowed by my residence permit, and I almost got in trouble for that. My company decided to stop like my work for a couple of days, or I don't remember really well. It was a long time ago. But yes, I stopped working for a couple of days because I wasn't allowed to. I needed to wait a little bit to really take advantage of the whole year that I was still going to work. But yes, then...
Yeah, and one thing also that it's important to mention, this 140 days are counted like each year. So each year you get the 140 days. That's not like for your whole studies, but more like...
a yearly.
You get the 143 days.
Yes. And I mean, there are also another kind of ways to fund your university studies or expenses, and these are through scholarships. So international students can also apply for scholarships and loans, and well, one of the most famous ones is from the DAAD. They offer scholarships. There are also private foundations or also Bildungsfonds, like yes, I don't know, educational kind of money that is offered from the government.
Yes.
To finance the students' studies, and also you can get a loan from the bank. There's a specific bank here in Germany that is called KfW, and this bank offers you a loan specifically for studying for more than 3 years. If you are going to study in Germany longer than 3 years, and for example, you cannot study a master's of 2 years and get that loan. And they are really good because even though it's a bank, they are specifically made for students, so they have really low interest rates, and they also give you some kind of like compensation if you pay on time, or if you pay it in advance. I think they give you like some kind of compensation for that. So they lower the rates or the amount. And for example, I had a Colombian friend and got a loan from Colombia to study here in Germany. And years after she finished her studies, she was still paying the loan.
Oh.
And I was like, bro, like how much did you like took out from that loan? Because I mean, if you're working in Germany, you earn like pretty good when you have a master's. So I was wondering how long she was going to pay for that loan. But yes, like, I mean, one of the best ways is to get it here in Germany.
Yes, I would also say so. And well, for my side, as I already mentioned at the beginning, I was very privileged because I got the BAföG scholarship. So the BAföG scholarship is a scholarship from the federal state of Germany. And you can only get it if you are a German citizen, if you are an EU citizen, if you have a permanent residency in Germany, or if you have a refugee status.
Okay.
So these are the only options where you can get the BAföG scholarship. It's about, I think nowadays, to the 1,000 euros a month that they give you. And it's very popular because, you don't pay any interests. And you pay only the half of it after your studies. I think it's like about 12 to 24 months after your studies, you begin to pay, and you can also decide how much you can pay, like, or
per
want
month.
to pay per month, or each 6 months. And you can also like make a pause if you are, for example, unemployed for a certain time. You can pause it and start to pay it again once you have a new job. And there are a lot of perks to it. I actually was able to pay the full tuition or pay the full scholarship after I finished my studies, and they gave me like a 10% discount.
Okay.
So I actually paid like 10% less.
How much did you pay in total?
So I actually got about, I would say, I don't know, I don't remember it a lot. I paid in total 5,000 euros back.
Okay.
But they gave me much more because, well, I paid 10% less, I think.
So it was like you got like 10,000 euros, no, 12,000 euros. Then you needed to pay only 6,000.
Yes.
Then you get this 10% discount. So, well, yes, more or less. Like
yes,
more than 10,000 euros you got for financing.
For financing my
studies through BAföG.
Yeah, so it's a very popular option, but not all persons get it. So actually, you need to demonstrate that, for example, your parents do not have the financial means to pay for your studies, or that you come from a lower social background, or you have migrating roots too. So yeah, there are a lot of requirements that you need to fulfill to get the scholarship. Like, not everyone in Germany gets the scholarship or gets the BAföG. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Like, because I had a lot of roommates during my university that got BAföG, and for example, they also don't pay the Rundfunkbeitrag.
Yeah.
So how is it called? The radio tax.
Radio and television
radio
tax.
Television. Beitrag.
Yeah,
I don't know. This it also gets you a lot other advantages outside only receiving the money. For example, that you are exempted to pay that kind of tax.
And they also paid for my studies abroad. So I did 2 years of studies abroad, and they paid me the whole study also in Brazil and in Colombia. So yeah, that was amazing too. Like, living in Brazil and Colombia with euros. Oh my God, I felt like the richest person there.
The rich student.
Yeah.
Student
it was
life.
really a really good time.
But when you came back to
Germany, then the reality hit me again.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, this is like the broad, high level, let's say, possibilities that you have to finance your studies. In my opinion, working student is one of the best.
Yeah, I would also say so.
But also, I know from a lot of people, they make internships like between semesters when they are like waiting for the next semester, or during the vacations. They decide to do a 1 month, 3 month internship, depending on the company and the area. And yes, you earn a lot of money maybe that way, so you can finance 3 months, 4 months for your studies. So, but yes, you need to take into account the working hours per year that you are allowed to work.
Yeah.
And yes, that's a little bit frustrating that you're not allowed to work too much. Even though you could actually. But yes, that's the law.
Yes, that's because they want to prioritize that you are here to study, not to work. Yeah.
Exactly.
So if you have specific questions also about working in Germany as a student, you can write them down in the comments and we will be happy to respond them.
Yes, I hope you find this very helpful and see you on the next episode of Keep It in German.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.